Hello, this is Dee. Welcome to my channel, and this is my third day door dashing with my child who's 4 years old. Sorry for the poor lighting. It's late at night. I almost forgot to do this one. I'll try to do better at, lighting and all that stuff next one. But I just want to tell you that we did 5 deliveries in probably a little bit more than 3 hours. It could have been better, but we drove around just trying to figure out what area I even wanted to do it in for 30 minutes. But it was not a waste of time as much as it was, but as much as people would think it was, because I got to explore the other area, and I have actually figured out that I want to try this other area around our town, but a little bit further out. For a lunch hour, because the traffic around dinner hour is just horrific on the one road. So we went back up to the area where we're used to, and that's where we did the 5 orders. They were pretty quick. For a long time I was ahead of schedule up until the last order or so that threw me off a little bit, but it was still better than normal. It was a McDonald's that had a drive-through only. I drove kind of by it. I saw that there's not as long of a line as usual, and so I decided to accept the order, and it wasn't bad for McDonald's pay-wise. And then our last one, I wasn't meaning to really have 5. I had told Elsie I was going to do 4 today. My child, I guess you could know her first name is Elsie. But I don't want her all over the internet. But anyway, that's about the extent of that. But anyway, I had told her that we weren't going to do more than 4 deliveries. But as soon as we walked out of this apartment where we delivered, I don't remember what. Oh, Wendy's. Then we got the Wingstop order like that at the bottom of the stairs. As soon as we were done delivering that one, I was like, "Oh, Elsie, can we add one more, because Mama just got another order." She's like, I want to go to the park. I'm like, well, Mama just got one more order. Let's do this one order, and then we go to the park. And so we did the last order. It was actually super good. Higher than normal for a Wingstop around my area. In this rural part of our town. I really like it better because, less traffic, less people, but yet still a lot of orders. And it feels like, I'm sure there's other dashers out there, but it almost feels like I roll this area, especially toward the, later night, 6, 7 p.m., 8, 9. Of course, it'll get busier, but I don't want her out too late. And we like to go to the park before it gets dark, and it's getting dark earlier. It feels like I practically roll this area, and it's like hopping with orders. It's like deliver, go back in where you can get orders, boom, order, boom, pick up, boom, deliver. And the miles are closer for most of them. Now, every once in a while, there's some that have higher miles, because they live further out, and that as you kind of get further out, the houses kind of get further and further apart. But still, I know these areas, and most of them are freeway miles. I don't really mind high miles if it's freeway miles, but tonight, all my orders were low miles, and we were just woohoo, we're so glad we're done. And, like, we can go to the park. And, like, I got 5 orders instead of my original plan that was intended, which was 4. And it was so quick that, like, my child barely even realized. She usually, if it's way too much, she'd be like, oh, Mom, why'd you do that? Or, she, like, barely even noticed. I did have a couple difficulties today. My big one was I went to Walgreens, and I was supposed to, shop for it, and then use the red card, and then go deliver it. Well, they didn't have the 2 items. There were 2 items the customer wanted. They were just little snacks. And Walgreens did not have them in stock. I'm like, I'm not going to go through the pain of calling the customer and seeing what substitution she wants, and then they probably have to put in the system. And if they don't put in the system right, my red card is going to decline. Like, I've never really had that happen, and I never really even used my red card yet. So I didn't even know about that, but I figure it can get complicated. So I had enough percentage to where that when I unassigned the order, it didn't really affect much. They don't really recommend that, but I also had another order from Wingstop, like, on top of it. So it was like kind of a stacked order. And I wanted to make sure that I just unassigned that one and went and delivered the other one while it was still warm. Other than that, it was fine. And then at Wendy's, Elsie almost threw a fit because that's her favorite restaurant with her favorite burgers. And she was sad that it was for the Dasher, not for her. But she held it in, but she was kind of quietly about to cry. And then the worker gave her some water and the toy out of the kids' meal. And it seemed to satisfy her. And then I told her that we would come back for a hamburger later, which we did right before we went to the park when we were done dashing. And our other thing was I delivered to a business, and it had like a security gate, and I had to drop it off there, and I almost got lost, but thankfully the person was so nice. She's like, yes, it is confusing. Here, remember that there's this bus stop right before it or something. And she gave me those tips. Oh, you should be back on this street, and there's a bus stop before it, and remember that, you just turn, and remember you just give it to the security guy, tell him whose order it is, and it got all worked out within, like, probably less than 5 minutes, but we'll just say 5 to 10 minutes. And I don't even think that order was late. Anyway, so dashing was a bit, harder, so to speak, tonight, but the child was actually better even, believe it or not, and everything was, like, hunky-dory with that. So we're so glad we got 5 orders in tonight, and ta-ta for now. Hope to talk to you later, and just hope you have a good night and stuff. Okay, thank you, bye.